Progressive Voice, I've seen maybe a few videos of him, so I don't really watch him that much. Or his audience.
I,
Do you know
I
a bit more about him? Do you watch him sometimes?
I watched him a lot back in the days because he's really good at covering. I think it's a great channel. First of all, I have to congratulate him for he started when I think he was very, very young and he kept
Mm-hmm.
at it and it got better and better and better and better. And he had Kyle Kalinske to interview. He has had Jimmy Dore to interview. A lot of people. But he basically largely covers what we are covering right now, progressive sort of infightings or progressive up development in the progressive politics world on Twitter and stuff. He covers them on YouTube. And from what the thing is, well, first I think you should tell people about the poll, and then I'll tell you about what I think of his audience because it's a very general take. It's not a deep dive or anything.
Sure. Yeah. So basically,
Yeah,
what caught my eye. So I'll put this little poll. He did one of these YouTube polls. I'll put it on screen. So here's the question. He said, if you had to stop watching one of these shows for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? So at first I was like, am I understand the question properly? Once I was
yeah, it's a bit.
assured that I was shocked. So his audience does not seem to like Jimmy Dore whatsoever. So almost 60% of them said they would stop watching Jimmy Dore. And yeah, the closest one after that was Young Turks. I was a bit shocked given that, you know, Jimmy Dore's popularity right now. I thought among all progressives on YouTube, I guess, I was a bit off there. So I just found it, I was shocked and I just found it interesting. I was like, okay, there seems to be a huge anti Jimmy Dore camp against somewhere. Because he also has a decent amount of subscribers, you know? He has like 70,000 progressive voice. So his channel isn't tiny. And then we can also talk a little bit about YouTube polls as well. So we'll leave that for a second. But yeah, did you
Sure, I
find it as surprising as I did?
no, not really, because I think Jimmy Dore has his own sort of base that it's kind of like a Trump, not in any of the policy sense, but Trump of the sort of progressive leftist people that he has a fan base that really like him, including myself, by the way.
Yeah.
And for example, one of the reasons I never subscribed to Progressive Voice was that because Progressive Voice is more, yeah, he has criticized Jimmy Dore extensively. And I'm not surprised if a lot of people who were like me were thinking of subscribing to Progressive Voice or were Jimmy Dore subscribers unsubscribing because Jimmy Dore fans, I think, are somewhat more, you know, active at least. I don't know, like they are more like they get more offended if somebody, hits against him than let's say Cenk Uygur, who has, because they have a bigger following as well. So it's not just a small group of devotees. So I wasn't as surprised, but and I would, yeah, I am very sad that Majority Report came from like Majority Report. Basically, only secular talk
Yeah.
was the lowest, and then you had Majority Report at 7%, which was a big disappointment to me because that to me is the worst. I
Right?
hate them most. Yeah, I think
For
they're the
sure.
worst. I think
No.
they're not really progressives. They're lit. They remind me of those like movie phony New York. I've never been to New York. Phony people that you see in New York or London in movies that are
Yeah.
they like to discuss politics in their balconies and sit
But I wonder
on
if they were
TV.
better before with Michael Brooks because, and I only discovered Michael Brooks last year. So, but
I
Michael
never.
Brooks for me was totally different than Sam Sater and what Sam Sater was saying. And I mean, Sam Sater, I've seen him 3 times and disagreed and opposed so much with what he was saying and the way he was
Yep.
talking that I've never watched him again. But Michael Brooks, I watched him quite a bit. I definitely didn't get the same vibe from him and also like the
I
things that
never.
he was saying.
I mean, he's passed away, and he was a great journalist, I think, or a commentator. But yeah, I was never a fan. No, I never liked
Okay.
him either. Too wishy-washy liberally for me. Just in talking about, like communal movements in South America. Well, I don't know. I just find these type of things a bit, and like,
But
it's
different
good
than
to
Sam Seder. But different than Sam
oh
Seder. Sam
different.
Seder doesn't talk about that kind of stuff.
No, no, not
Uh,
as much. No, Michael Brooks was far more
yeah.
international, I would say,
Oh,
perspective and all.
100%. Yeah, but you're right.
But uh,
The majority
but just
report
gen
part is very disappointing in this poll. And David Pakman, I'm not sure who that is. I know he's very
I
famous and
know,
popular.
yeah, he's like kind of like secular talky, but
Yeah.
more wishy-washy. He came on Joe Rogan. David Pakman is a just I don't know. He's one of those. I shouldn't talk ill of other people, but it's just sometimes he seems too nice. He gives a very he could work on MS. Like his takes are great, by the way. He's lefty and progressive and all that, but he could work on MSNBC. I think he's very polite and clean and ironed and everything.
Okay, I see. All right. I really
I,
don't.
I'm I, I
Y-
just would like to clarify.
yeah, I really don't know him. But man, let's talk about these polls for a second. These YouTube polls are a sweet way of getting a good insight into especially the hardcore base of your audience, like who they like and what you don't like. I mean, there are other ways for sure, but this is great. So he got a good 12,000 votes here.
By the way,
12,000
can we
people voted.
like on our channel can we use them yet? Because I think we
No,
need to
you need
reach it.
to, yeah, you need to reach, I think, the the 1,000 subscriber base that unlocks the whole community feed.
All right,
Yeah.
so so it's really your fault, the viewers.